So while this is a series of videos trying to talk about assessment and that macro identifies micro, large movements are made of smaller subcomponents, that if I have the patient generate the motion actively, it should look bilaterally symmetrical and free. And if it does not, I know I should investigate more because it has violated my assumption. Or rather, a better way to say it is that my hypothesis, my prediction is that they should move bilaterally, symmetrically, and freely. And if they do not, it should be investigated because the big movement should be symmetrical and free. If it is not, then I have falsified that prediction that it is free. I have proven that it is not free, therefore it warrants more investigation. With respect to the shoulder girdle, we can conceptualize it as the medial border, so the medial scapular border, the lateral scapular border. I call it the anterior border, it's the pectoral tissue. And then the trapezius would be, you could call it the upper scapular border. I tend personally to check the traps in conjunction with the neck, but it doesn't mean that it has to be done. So I've got 4 areas that I want to investigate more to see what may or may not be going on with that shoulder girdle so that I can identify where the peak of restriction is and then I can treat accurately. So really quickly, this won't show up perfectly on the screen. I can check the pectoral region, right? I can just apply yield to pressure here. So as I push up, it doesn't yield easily. As I pull down, it yields, right? Now, the deal is if I do this, if the girdle moves, right, and the head moves and the neck moves, I'm not checking that pectoral tissue. I want as little auxiliary movement as I can have, right? So right there, we've got some restriction. Now, if I turn my hand, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn my hand into the midline of the patient. There's yield, but if I get up this way, you agree that here, there's more restriction in the muscle. So squishy, not squishy, yeah? We're getting closer to tendon. I expect it to get tighter. Maybe it is that, maybe it isn't. Now I'm going to go to the lateral border. I'm basically going to pinch that tissue and do a push-pull. You won't see it, so I do apologize for that. Just to compare it, right? It's not terrible, right? So as I push up, there's not a ton of yield. As I push down, it's a little squishy, but it doesn't feel particularly tender to you. Is that fair?
Fair.
All right. Now I'm going to go to the medial border. So I'm going to sneak my hand under. I'm going to have my fingers. I'm going to basically run along the medial border. I'm going to push up here, push up in the middle, and push up on the top third. My hand is a size where I can generally get thirds. There, that don't feel so good.
Correct.
Right? So kind of middle of the scap, and that doesn't feel good either.
Less so than the...
Yeah. But middle third and top third of the medial scapular border are showing me some form of issue. Now, I can just grab the trap. That feels nice and squishy. No complaints there. So if I was to order these things based on sensation, it would be the medial scapular border. On tension, it would be the pec. That is what I would consider based on what I've looked at and found so far. So again, it's the hierarchy of what's most restricted, because what's most restricted should be the thing that is causing the most trouble from my initial macro test.